it's Black History Month, and before we get into the recaps of the weekend, there's a big breaking news that's hitting the NFL right now. Brian Flores has officially filed a lawsuit against the whole league for discrimination as far as their hiring process when it comes to head coaches.
Wow.
I'll start this off with
GMs, assistant GMs. Hey, if we gonna be detailed because he going after everything.
Well, I was gonna say, Joshua Jericho, shout out to you who asked us in the super chat, which leads us into the question. You guys think Brian Flores will win his lawsuit?
Yes.
Oh yeah. And they may settle it.
Not, I was gonna say they're gonna sell it.
Man,
they're gonna sell it
because Belichick fucked it up really bad by sending that accidental text. Did you not?
No, I didn't see that. What?
He sent the text to Brian. What's his name?
Brian DeBoer was going to, but it went to Brian Flores.
It went to Brian Flores. He was around Brian. He was like, "Oh shit, my bad."
He was saying congrats.
Yeah, and then he ended it with BB. Like nigga.
But basically, in a nutshell, he was saying congratulations for
getting the head coach job for the Giants.
Either the Giants and the Broncos was on you hard. And he was like, "Oh, for real."
And this is 2 days before Brian Flores had his interview with the Giants. He sent him congratulations. He was sending Brian, whatever the fuck is that? The nigga I don't want coaching the Giants. He sent him congratulations already. And then he was saying that a year ago when he was looking for head coaching jobs with the Broncos, that what's his name? John Elway showed up an hour late, hungover.
They get no fucks.
Wow.
Both of them, him and the GM and the president.
Well, they came in an hour late, hungover.
First of all, here's what I'm gonna say. That wasn't an accident by Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick down for the cause, y'all. He woke.
I wanted to say it was, but it was. He said it was a mistake.
Of course, he's gonna say that. It was a deliberate mistake. You know, he said that on purpose because he probably feel like the bullshit. Like that in advance, and you probably caught when Brian is going to do this interview. And you're like, man, why they doing it, man, like that? I think Bill did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, that's his guy.
I think Bill did that on purpose.
Another conspiracy, huh?
Yep, another conspiracy. Brian Flores come from Bill Belichick's coaching tree.
Yep, his coaching
tree. Yeah, he. What about this other guy, Brian?
He came from Bills.
Both of them?
Yeah, well, not from Belichick. I think he just came from the Bills.
I thought he came from that tree too.
So they both.
I know.
I could be wrong on
Flores did. I don't know about DeVoe.
But we don't know about the other one.
Yeah, yeah, we don't know about.
Think about it now.
Fact check us in the chat. Did Brian DeVoe come from the Bill Belichick coaching tree? Well, what I know is this.
See, Cassie, you're right.
That shit did not smell right when they fired Brian Flores. It didn't feel right.
I tried to say something, but I was deferring to you because you was like, that's Miami's organization. They're dysfunctional. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I felt like, that's what I was saying, like, all those other motherfuckers getting hired, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and it didn't make sense from, again, an organizational standpoint because you got a guy that doesn't have scraps, at least not at this point. But when he started 2 years ago, come on, who the fucking Dolphins that got blown out by the Ravens? I'll never forget opening day. Yeah. Lamar Jackson he won the MVP that game. Like that motherfucker threw like 4 touchdowns, ran for another 2. Them boys scored like 50 something to like 7. Two games later, they trade Laramie Tunzel, they trade Minka Fitzpatrick. You know, that was all under Brian Flores. Now, unlike the Raiders, you went and got other guys that could fucking hoop or ball, you know what I'm saying, on the field. And then you saw Brian Flores, even though he had his bumps in the road, it's like the issues aren't with you. The issues are talent-based. It's not coaching-based.
Yeah. And like Darryl Brown pointed out, it started because you're right in that. I saw that earlier where Brian Flores was saying they were going to pay him $100K for every loss.
For every loss. I saw that shit.
So
that's crazy. That's crazy to me
because they were trying to tank to get Joey B one of those top quarterbacks, and he wouldn't do it. He refused. They also had a secret meeting with the top level quarterback, and he showed up and found out what was going on and left. He was like, "Nah, I ain't with that." So they were, breaking.
Who coming into the draft?
He was
no. So the Dolphins, obviously, they knew that they were devoid of talent at the quarterback position, right? Obviously, they wanted to tank, try to get the highest pick, possibly Joe Burrow, something like that. But at the same time, they're obviously trying to get somebody that can ball at that position. So the owner and the GM set up this meeting with Brian Flores on a private yacht. Obviously, they brought this idea before him. Flores is like, nah, bro, I'm a man of integrity. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure this shit out. So obviously Flores gets there, the owner, whatever, here comes that quarterback, quote unquote quarterback. We don't know who it is, unnamed quarterback. Comes in and Brian Flores bounced. And then after that, they basically excoriated him and they just treated him like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't part of the organization anymore. They just didn't care about Brian Flores because he wasn't down for what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So again, when I say it's an organizational thing, the Dolphins have always been mismanaged because it's not like they've always been devoid of talent. They've had talent. And I think that this is one of those things where numbers and other factors factor in versus winning. And remember when we watched the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary?
Last Dance.
And Jordan talked about that. So y'all trying to sit me to get a higher draft pick versus winning the fucking game? You pay me to play the game to win. And then that's part of why Doug Collins got fired. Because he wanted to play MJ. And they were like, no, send him down. We need a higher draft pick. It's like, come on, man. Like, I understand it's a line that you have to teeter, you know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking about the best for your organization. And obviously a higher draft pick means that you get the better talent. But to a degree, you also got to understand where your team is, and sometimes it's better for them to win and not get the better draft pick because it'll teach them better in the long run. And we saw that with Brian Flores. Remember, wasn't it Nick, or we were talking about the Colts with Andrew Luck? Remember I was saying that you go for it because it was the Colts.
Oh yeah, that decision as far as like the tire to go for the win.
And sometimes you gotta do that to build the locker room, bro. Even if you lose that game because of that fucking decision to go on in a 4th and 1, it's the moxie that it brings. And you saw that with Flores. And sometimes the decisions that he made, he's like, okay, yeah, we're going to lose this, but we're going to win the war. We're going to win long term. We're going to win the mindset of the players. And it's top down. And what did we see about what Von Miller and OBJ were talking about? Everything here is ran the right way. That's why we're winning. From the moment we step, that's the reason why they can come in week 7, week 8, or even OBJ later than that, like this. How many years in Cleveland?
About three wasted years.
And he's already outproduced come on, man. Not just saying it was only Baker, but the organization always has a way of molding shit. And the Dolphins are a shit fucking organization.
So the question is, will they win the lawsuit? I think y'all all said that he should win the lawsuit. Or is it
degree?
It's going to be settled. It's not,
Yeah, I think they'll settle.
Yeah, they'll settle.
I think he definitely has enough evidence to show something.
I was just hoping that he didn't use all of his evidence in the article or like just now.
No, I think they got all that from the filings.
Oh, okay. Because I was hoping he has more to prove.
Yeah, well, he officially filed everything. So whoever, the powers that be that need to know, they know.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty strong to be filed.
100%.
Yeah, he got
because it's a class action lawsuit, right? Yeah, so that's some serious shit.
I just wonder if this is it for him though. Will he coach?
No, yeah, it's a wrap. And I liked how I was watching Part of Interruption, Michael Wilbon. I really like what he said. He said the first thing he thought about was Cap. And he also thought about like how this is a huge sacrifice that someone is making for the betterment of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somewhat disheartening, but it's also encouraging that someone is still like, out of everybody, I didn't think Brian Flores would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that I didn't think he could do it, but it's just that he's the hottest guy right now as far as like available coaches in our mind. And objectively in anybody's mind should be. But in our minds, he's the hottest outside of Eric Bieniemy. But Eric Bieniemy seemed like he was
top 3.
Yeah, Eric Bieniemy seemed like he was still like content with being with the Chiefs. But maybe that's different. Maybe that's different.
Do you really think do you think that you put in all these hours to get to the next thing and you're content being where you are?
Well, I'm only saying that because it's similar. I was thinking of similar like how Josh McDaniels is with Belichick as far as like, shit, I'm winning rings here and now. That's just padding the resume.
But you know what happened with Josh McDaniels? He had his opportunity. It was called Tim Tebow. That's what he did. And he had his head coaching opportunity. And he's like, you know what? I'm not Bill Belichick. I tried to be him. Almost all of those first wave disciples all try to recreate what Bill was. And he learned very early, I'm not no Bill Belichick.
I think he will coach again.
What
Brian?
organization?
How can you not hire him again after this? That shit will look even worse.
It depends on
They
the
did the same shit with
organization.
Cap.
It's a Cap.
Cap
thing.
was different though. They
Cap
said
is
he couldn't
easier.
play.
Exactly. You can't say Brian Flores can't coach.
Well, see, they tried to paint the picture that he was this tyrant and.
Well,
like,
I was gonna say, if you look at if they look at his record, like you said, like I think his record is what 24, 25.
Yeah,
You're right. They can use the
So
record.
they can use the. That's what I'm saying. They
But
can
there's a
still
lot
use,
of retreads that have had bad records and gotten hired. So that's will make it even worse against them.
And what you got to look at is his former players. What would they say about Brian Flores?
That's the question. That's what I want to know. I want to hear the players talk.
Well, that's what Kyle brought up in the chat. He was like, these at this point, it's on the players to really speak up and try to make a stance.
Yeah.
So I agree with that point.
And I'm thinking he probably got some people already ready to talk.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I'm thinking this shit came out on Black History, the kickoff on Black History,
Didn't
Month.
it?
Yep. Brady came out, was like, "Hey man, yeah, everybody,
There's a lot going on.
Brian Flores,
It
like,
is.
hell no, this is our month.
we
We're
started
gonna get this shit
We
right.
started the Super Bowl, then they threw Brady, and then they throwing this.
Yeah, Brian
So-
Flores is like, nah, fuck this shit. He gonna
Yeah.
burn it all down, and I love it.
Yep. As
I
he
love it.
should.
I love it, and I hope that other people join him. And I think the thing is this Rooney Rule, everything has been discussed. It's always been highlighted and documented that there's a black head coaching hiring crisis in the NFL, and this lawsuit doesn't help at all.
And not only that, it's just like, because I was arguing with my homeboy, same one that liked Brady. He was like, bro, they're going to hire. I was like, he was like, they're going to hire a black coach. Like, that's not an issue. I was like, what you mean they're going to hire him? Like, how many black coaches you think they're going to hire in this offseason? He's like, at least 2.
Shit.
That's what I was thinking.
And I was like,
Maybe
I was like, bro, I highly doubt they'll even hire one. They got a fucking
honestly,
they got a
y'all-
fucking
y'all-
quota in the league
But
because every year, bro, there's at least 3 of them that deserve a head coach.
But- and-
that
and-
does
and see-
and deserve is not a loose term that I'm using.
No.
I'm talking about fucking deserve,
Based
and
off
they
what
never
they
get
doing.
it.
Yeah.
And they give it to Brian Dable, whoever the fuck it is. This motherfucker was a head coach already,
Josh McDaniels.
beating the Pats twice.
You know what's interesting? You know I'm bad with names. What was the Chargers black head coach from a year ago?
Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. Yeah.
Anthony Lynn. They excoriated this guy, basically saying, "Oh, he can't coach this, that, and the third." And what did the Chargers do after they hired a white coach?
Nothing.
Same shit.
Same shit. They thought he was holding back Justin Herbert.
Mhm.
And what Justin Herbert do?
Same shit.
In a game where he could win and you're in,
Regressed.
couldn't even do that shit. They won the same amount of games that they did with almost with Lynn.
Mm-hmm. Healthier. But it's just crazy, man, because like I thought it was gonna be at least 2. I thought the NBA, with the way the NBA went with these black coaches over this past summer, that was real encouraging to see that happen in the league. So I'm thinking, okay, the football's gonna have to follow suit. They're gonna have
And
to.
they got Jay-Z.
You know,
Yeah, somebody brought it up in the chat, the super chat.
I was like, they're gonna have to follow suit. They're gonna have to give some brothers some jobs. And then you watching these games, and they're talking about the Byron Leftwiches. They're talking about Todd Bowles. They're talking
Kyle
about
Shanahan's coaching staff is black.
Mhm. They were talking about those guys too. They were talking about all these black assistant coaches during the games, and I'm like, they're getting them props. I was like, dang, yeah, this is gonna be the year. They're gonna get one of these boys gonna get this job. And then you see
I
Josh
love this.
McDaniels.
Josh
get a
McDaniels,
job.
punk ass. Brian Dable. Who was the other
love all
motherfucker? The Broncos. Didn't the Broncos hire some
they did.
goofy ass motherfucker?
They did.
Okay, the Broncos I kind of understand because he has ties to Aaron Rodgers.
And maybe Aaron Rodgers go after him.
Exactly.
But-
So
Aaron Rodgers, if anywhere he's going to Pittsburgh.
I
or
hope
the
so.
Broncos. Broncos defense is as good, if not better, and the offense is definitely better.
I'm hearing that Pittsburgh after somebody else.
The offense I'll give you
As
for
a-
the
as a
Broncos, but
quarterback.
defense wise, I'm taking TJ Watt over anybody on the Broncos.
100%. All I'm saying is the Broncos are a legitimate shot.
They are.
to
They are.
land Aaron Rodgers. So if you start in the front office hiring Aaron Rodgers kind of guys, you can sway them a little bit.
That's
so
the
get
one
it.
guy Aaron Rodgers did speak up and say that I want to, like, I need to be around him.
Mhm.
So in that case, like you said, I kind of get it a little bit, but I just still thought I really was disappointed. I really was. Now they did hire 2 black GMs, but
Yeah, the Vikings and the who else was it?
the Bears.
Yeah, the Vikings and the Bears.
So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. But
But honestly, I think even though we haven't had a lot of black GMs in the NFL, I think they fare better as a GM versus a head coach. I think head coaches are scapegoated too easily.
Easy.
And then, obviously, you got to blaze a trail for people to follow. Ozzie Newsome. You say, how long was he a damn GM?
Ozzie Newsome, and even though he has mixed results, Jerry Reese, you could also talk about with the Giants. He won 2 Super Bowls as a GM.
He drafted a lot of talent.
Yeah, even though his later half of his reign was.
It's just listen to Shelton, your boy. I don't know what argument he was making, but it's just like y'all just forgot where we fucking live, bro.
Y'all forgot why the Rooney Rule was in place.
Y'all forgot this is fucking America, white America, man. Like, come on, man. Like, nah, don't ever think that. Let it happen first and be like, damn, I was surprised.
Be surprised by it. Yeah.
Be surprised. They only disappoint you, bro.
You're right. And I
White
was
folks.
And I was like, well, the Vikings ain't gonna let me down. And I thought the Vikings job was one of the best jobs too. But they want Harbaugh.
And they're gonna get him.
They're gonna get Harbaugh. He already left. Harbaugh honestly can have the pick of the litter as far as whatever's left.
Mm-hmm.
He can go to Jacksonville. He can go to Denver. He can go to
Minnesota is it though, because he's visiting Minnesota on signing day. So he done.
Yeah.
From Baltimore?
No. The brother.
From Michigan.
Yeah,
So he's done.
Jim.
Yeah. So on signing day, he's gonna be in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Well, we got that. We'll keep y'all updated on those reports. I'm sure y'all gonna be following the breaking news as well as far as what happens with that case.
Let me ask y'all this before that we go. What can come of this though? Like, what can we get out of this?
That was a follow-up question I had, but I want to see where the case goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that Michael Wilbon that I go back to as far as on Part of Interruption the other day, he said that it always has to go to the courts when it comes to shit like this. Like, as far as when it comes to black people trying to just be fair, like just be treated fairly in this country, like it always has to go to the courts. We can't rely on men or people in power to somehow, some way get it right. Or to believe that they will eventually get it right. It always has to be forced upon them.
And you know what's fucked up is that we're talking about sports.
Mm-hmm.
And sports is supposed to be pure in a sense that it's about the best person for the job.
Correct.
It's not supposed to be political. It's not supposed to be racial. It's supposed to be, let me interview you. Let me interview you. Let me interview you. Who's the best person for the situation? And it shouldn't be about race at all.
But when has it ever been that?
What, sports?
Mm-hmm.
Idealistically,
Yeah.
right? But I think
It's never been that.
What can hold on now? We can't say never.
Why not?
In professional sports, I could agree with you, right? Like for the most part, it hasn't, because it's just a lot of money associated with it. But I could definitely say, my brother, shout out EAB, Elite Ambition Basketball over there in Texas. It's about the best kid, the best coaches. At the grassroots of, that's why sometimes you see a lot of pro athletes. They're like, man, I don't want to do college. I don't want to do pro sports. I want to do high school and lower, because it is about the best.
That
talent.
program is, and there are other programs, I'm sure that's like that.
But still,
But the bulk of it, bro.
Yeah, the bulk of it is still that way. I mean,
racially
think
charged?
about how long it's been. We just now getting black quarterbacks in college football.
100%.
And that carries over to high school too.
Yeah, and Ken, I'm not saying that 100% of all high school and AAU.
No, I know that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that if you want the sports in its purest form, that's where you go. Because you can find them.
I think that was the hope that people wanted, for sports to be all about a meritocracy and less about all these type of political things and stuff like that. But it's a representation of America as well. And I think if you look at those structures and those systems that are in place, it's the same damn thing. People want to believe in that the best person will be on the field, but it's just not the case. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to find a lot of examples where it has been.
I know, and this is something interesting I thought about too. The Broncos actually went up for sale today.
Somebody just mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, so in saying that,
Tweet Open Doors did.
Right. So and they had applied for they had already started applying for the patent. So I was thinking about, hey, at first I was like, well, Brady retiring because he gonna buy the Broncos. I was thinking like crazy stuff like that. Then I thought about it. I was like,
find a way to bring Brady back.
Wouldn't, but that's what I was thinking at the time. But then I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't it be cool if like Magic and some of them brothers got together?
Well, did he try to get people to buy the Panthers? But
yeah, so I was like, this would be a cool time to do that. That's what I was thinking. Maybe the league will let him in that way, and if that happens, it kind of opens the door a little bit. It ain't gonna force it open, but it's gonna kind of crack it a little bit to where we can start getting a little bit of change.
So the main thing is, I agree in the sense that we got to get more black owners in the NFL. Then you'll see the change.
Mm-hmm. We got to get a black owner.
We got to start somewhere.
We
got to start somewhere. But I'm just saying there's more than one black billionaire in America and in the world.
Right.
And all I'm saying, if we could get a couple, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5,
right.
If we could do that, then yes, change can happen because now we got more people in those rooms that represent. But I don't know, man. I don't know. When it comes to sports, man, I definitely live in a euphoric / idealistic type of thing just because to me, if you really want to win, it's nothing but who gives me the best shot to win.
That's because you look at it the guise of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunate that that's a minority viewpoint. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.